Yes.
The Russian response would be to this. Yes, Priya.
Indeed, Aditya, stay on with us. I'm also, meanwhile, being joined by Major Mohammad Ali Shah. He's a defense expert. Sir, good morning and thank you for speaking to NewsX. Of course, we're tracking these updates that are trickling in currently from Ukraine. At this point, we're learning that Russia has been struck by Ukrainian drones. And these drones were in fact used to strike targets as deep as 4,300 kilometers. Yes, sir, you're audible. Am I audible to you?
Yes, I hear you.
Indeed, sir. So
but
I was.
Please rest I keep calling up repeating it because that's the time I'm using mobile for the light and thing that were.
Indeed. So what I was referring to is this attack that has taken place on military infrastructure in Russia. Ukraine has struck targets as deep as 4,300 kilometers in the eastern region of Russia as well. The drones that were used were sneakily smuggled into Russia via trucks. They were hidden in wooden crates and were then released to hit these targets. Now, reports are suggesting that the losses that have been suffered by the Russian military have amounted to $7 billion US. So what is your very first reaction to this particular Operation Spider Web, as Zelensky has dubbed it? We are also learning that it took about 18 months to plan this. Do you think it was just Ukraine, or is there a hidden hand? Is NATO's hand at play here?
He folded hands and rests for mercy, and the drone shifts the target. Drones, and there's a viral video, it's there on YouTube, it's there everywhere, everyone has seen that. Because Russians and the Unions both are right now very vicious, and there's a lot of towards each other, and there is a lot of animosity amongst them at the moment. So both, none of them are willing to spare wherever they get a chance. So most certainly when an attack like this, earlier Ukraine was on the defensive. So we were saying that, okay, we were anticipating perhaps Russia will finish this war in 4 days. There's no match to Ukraine. But in an elephant and an ant fight, if the ant enters an elephant's trunk, it can be indeed very, very painful and very, very lethal there. So I think in this case, a similar thing has happened. So Ukraine, which was on the defensive earlier, is now on the offensive. And more than a year back, there was an attack with a drone on President Zelensky's house on the rooftop at the flag post. Because drone attacks are very, very precise. The precision is such, they target exactly where it's to be meant by the dot. They're that precise. They've got their way of navigation. So most certainly now Ukraine, which had accused Russia for mass graves and for targeting their civilians and such things, now which has come on the offensive, and I would see it as it is a calamity for humanity, in fact. We are in good terms with both the countries. Both Russia and Ukraine are our friends. We would not want destruction of humanity and human life lost and loss of property and such things. So most certainly, I think it's about time. It's been over 3 years now that Russia and Ukraine have been at loggerheads. They've been at war. I think it's about time that both the nations have to come together. Both the presidents, President Zelensky and President Putin, have to come together on a table and they got to talk. And I think America can be a very good mediator on this, because it is warming up to President Putin, in fact, because America perceives not Russia as a threat, but as China threat. So the biggest enemy for America is not Russia, it is China. So America can open the channel of communication, the gates of communication, the gates of peace for Russia and Ukraine over there, Priya.
Indeed, sir. Stay on with us. We are learning more information Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has now issued a statement on the